I remember it was my freshman year. It was before our first little scrimmage thing. I was guarding Tiny Gallon. It was right before the play. I don't know, somehow he hit my knee and I fell back. And once he fell on me, you hear an instant pop. I remember the trainers and the managers were like, oh God, what happened? Sounded like a shotgun.
You put trust in a university and you trust them, you believe that they're gonna take care of your child on the court and off the court. Coach Cable and his assistant coach, he says, well, we took an x-ray of Kyle, so Kyle's fine. We're just gonna keep him out a week.
But they still make me do drills. Still did drills.
So we made it up to the game to watch him, and we talked to the coaches again afterwards. They said, well, Kyle will be fine. He just pulled his quad, and we'll take care of him. He kept complaining of his injury, kept hurting. I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to someone I know I can trust.
The doctor down here named Dr. Wayne Johnson, he checked my knee out and showed that I had a tear in my knee. And when I heard that, I was just shocked. I was like, so this whole time I had a tear? I felt like I was just not being strong enough. I was like, maybe it's just me just not going hard enough. Maybe I just need to work on my legs more. When I found it was a tear, I was like, so I pushed through a tear for a year.
He said it was worse than his thumb. He had to have 10% of his meniscus removed. He said he's got degeneration in his knee. And he said his knee is like a 60-year-old.
So I practiced and got yelled at and cussed at every day, saying I wasn't going hard. Knowing every day I said my knee hurt, knowing that it wasn't just a regular sprain, it was actually a tear. I was really mad that day. I remember that day, I didn't talk to nobody. I was really angry. And at that time, my dad too, he had cancer. I was like, I don't want to talk to nobody.
If it would have been treated the year before, he probably would have been better. But because of the wear and tear and the injury, it was getting worse. I get a phone call from the director of athletics. They were not going to pay for his surgery because we went outside the university. They said, anytime you go outside the university to have anything done, you're held responsible. Kyle made a 3.5 in the summer. He made all A's. And then after his grade point came out showing that he made all A's, that's when they terminated his scholarship.
Like, I even went to NCAA camp. Like, that tells you about what's gonna happen before you go to college. They never mentioned it's not a guarantee for. I've never heard that until it happened to me. I never knew you couldn't get a 4-year guaranteed.
So when you sign that contract, and I'm gonna say contract, that letter of intent, you need to really read that letter of intent and say, hey, this is only for 1 year. What's gonna happen if my child's not taken care of? Are you gonna be held responsible, or are you gonna kick him out to the dirt?
I had schools in Texas. Couldn't go. Because they held all my stuff. Couldn't go anywhere. If I'm not that good to y'all, then why don't y'all let me just transfer and go somewhere else?
I hired a lawyer to get a medical hardship waiver so we can get Kyle on because he was held captive at that university. I wasn't looking for money. I was just looking for assistance hey, give us his transcripts. Hey, just give him that medical hardship waiver and we're out your door. We're gone. No, we're not gonna do that because we do that, we're showing fault. And if we show fault, you're gonna sue us. They were gonna actually give it to me if I signed a waiver, showing that my children, my grandchildren, anyone related to my family would not be able to go to the University of Oklahoma. I would have to give up my rights to be able to sue the university. If your child gets injured, don't count on the university to take care of. Kyle gave up a lot. He gave up everything for us, so we can see him at the University of Oklahoma play.
Because it's what I want to do when I grow up. I want to pay for my family and not have to work anymore, you know what I'm saying? Man, that's all I did every day. That was what I wanted to do. They never had to tell me to work hard. I want to do it for them, so.
I want parents to know that, hey, if this happens to you, you need to fight.